Well, when asked why he robbed banks, bank robber Willie Sutton is reported to have said, because that's where the money is. Now, that same principle applies in a disturbing trend going on right now in pharmacy robberies. Criminals not looking for money, but for drugs. With more, here's our Courtney Dehoff.
Prescription drugs are being counted on by people who need them and people who don't. As prescription drug abuse rises, pharmacists are getting their own prescription for violence.
He pulls a gun, or he has a gun back out, and he's got it back in my forehead.
Good, how are you?
For Chad Jones, a pharmacist at Chelsea Family Pharmacy, a typical Monday evening at work turned into a living nightmare for him and a co-worker.
Someone came in the front door, and I knew this guy. I'd seen him previously, and he had come into our pharmacy before with a fake prescription. And it was fake because it was just a photocopied prescription, and so there was no real signature. And I told him, you know, I'm not going to fill this for you. I said, in fact, why don't you never come back in the store again?
6 months later, the same drug addict came back into the store, this time with armed robbery on his mind.
And then he kind of meandered around, and he had a sack in his hand, like a brown paper grocery sack. And the only thing that was going through my mind was that he's going to take something from out front. And I said, Steve, I said, you just need to leave. He said, you need to get behind the counter and give me your drugs, and put the gun in my face. He pulled it out of the grocery sack, and he started telling me to get the OxyContin, give me all your OxyContin, and put it in the sack. So he handed me the sack, and I just gave all the OxyContin we had. And I said, what else do you want? And he said, I need roxicodone. I need all your roxicodone. Meanwhile, he's made Channing lay on the floor, and he's yelling at her, you need to be quiet, little girl, and I won't hurt you. Just be quiet, I won't hurt you. And I was like, Channing, it's okay, you know, just a second.
The robber then forced Jones and his pharmacy technician, Channing, to lie on the floor.
And he makes me lay by Channing, and we're kind of laying head to head like this. And I put my hand on her, and I'm trying to calm her down because she's like screaming and everything. And then I think he's going to leave. And pretty soon, I guess Channing was kind of watching her out of the corner of his eye. She said he pulled the hammer out of the sack, and then he came over, and I was looking at Channing like this, laying head to head, and he just came straight down and hit me right behind the ear with the first blow. And that was just pretty much knocked me silly.
Jones and his co-worker would never be the same.
I covered Channing, and I covered my head. When I did, he came straight down and just like hit me right on top of the head. That's where I broke my fingers. I crushed a couple of fingers. And I lay back down beside Channing, and I just remember blood being everywhere. And then the next thing I know was Channing's like saying, call the police, call the police. So I get back up, and I get another phone, a different phone, and cordless phone, and I'm like, what's the police's phone number? And I'm trying to think of their police phone number instead of calling 911. And then she's like, call 911. So I hit 911.
Robberies and break-ins like this are on the rise, and they're changing the lives of people like Jones who are just trying to do their job.
My life hasn't been the same since, in the sense that I just always have a sense of vigilance. I mean, I'm always looking out for someone. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed. And it's just stressful for me to always be on edge. Headaches daily, I mean, some are pretty severe. I just don't want to move. Lay in bed in dark room, don't move. And fatigue, I'm still having a lot of fatigue where I just can't go for very long, maybe like 4 or 5 hours. And then I'm just to the point that I just so tired I feel almost sick feeling.
The robbery at Chelsea has not only increased awareness throughout the state, it has increased awareness for Chad's pharmacist wife, Amber Jones.
I'd had angry customers before. I'd usually worked at busier chain stores, but never felt as threatened or as much anxiety as after the robbery. And then just on a personal level, yeah, just more security, you know, just the kind of a sense of peace and security definitely changed.
As America's secret addiction continues to grow, so does the awareness that your friendly neighborhood pharmacy may not be so friendly anymore.